Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Blue Ferret Boarding, talking to you about random stuff. It's Hannah here and it's September, and this month we're going to talk a little bit about ferrets in the wild. And for those of you keen-eared, you will know that I've already gone on about the fact that there is no such thing as a wild ferret, that they are in fact only feral ferrets. Say that when you've had a couple. So actually what we're going to be looking at are ferrets' closest cousins and where they came from. So we're going to take a look this month at European polecats, steppe polecats, black-footed ferrets and European mink. This is clearly not a wild polecat. However, I've got Errol or Winston, not sure which, here with me to help explain a little bit about the polecat, because European polecats are the closest relatives to ferrets. That's where ferrets have come from, as I've mentioned in the past. So what you're looking at, yes, Eula Beluga, that's my Eula cat. What you're looking at is that polecats generally have quite a short, dense a body than perhaps some of the other mustelid like stoats and weasels that are quite close to them. They also have quite a dark guard hairs here, and then the undercoats, this sort of white colour here. They also have quite a sort of wide head. I think it's usually a little bit wider than this, and again I think they can be a little bit shorter than this, but they're more powerful in their build than perhaps some of the other mustelid. That makes them less agile, but to compensate, they've got really strong teeth. With the polecats, one of their preferred methods of eating and catching prey is that they will actually get their front canines and they will go into the skull of the prey enough that they've paralyzed the prey, and then they'll drag it back to their lair, their hole, their burrow, and they will leave it there live as a sort of refrigeration, self-refrigeration, until they're ready to snack on it, which is pretty nasty, to be fair. So the European polecat has a mask, this dark mask here, as does its steppe cousin, but it's just in the whole quite a lot darker, quite a lot stumpier, and the mask is quite dark. As I say, this is clearly a ferret, but I deliberately bought one of our boarders who's a polecat, colouring to try and give you an idea of what it's like. The other thing is with the polecat as well, what marks them, or what they mark, is that they can emit this really foul smelling scent, again to mark their territory. Now ferrets do have that similar thing. We call it skunking, and it's when they're excited or when they're a little bit scared, and it's a beep, and it really can quarter your nose if you need that ever done. It can clear your sinuses, let's just put it like that. It's not pleasant. It's not as bad as a skunking, you know, that is a totally different kettle of fish, but we call it a skunk because it's still not pleasant. They cover the area from North Africa all the way up through the western part of Eurasia, and they are on the sort of the endangered table of where they are listed. They are listed as least concern, so there must be quite a few of them that they're not concerned about their decline. So finally, these dudes will eat pretty much anything. They'll eat birds, they'll eat small mammals, they'll eat amphibian, and they'll eat reptiles as well. Fish, anything of that type, they will give it a go, really. So that is it. This is obviously Errol or Winston masquerading as a polecat. Clearly this is not a polecat, but it gives you a good idea of that dark here, that pale underbelly. As I say, they're probably slightly more short, slightly shorter and a bit more compact perhaps than Errol. Sorry, Errol. But that's your European polecat. See you next week, where we're going to talk about the steppe polecat.